All right. Let me check. Okay. So I was told. Well, there are a couple things. There's an update on that gate test that I did, and with the energies that were um, being pulled inwards. Oh crap! I chose the wrong stone. Sorry. All right. Let's try this again. um, with energies that were being pulled inwards, being sucked into it. In this case, the personality trait that I didn't like, which was excessive talking. But now there's another person that's doing that, and if you have to yell halfway across the room, you should probably get the fuck up and go over there, right? And that seems to be lost, and it's not remembered or discarded whenever that's brought up politely. So we have to take care of this magically, I think. And I'm not looking to. I'm not looking for harm here. You know, I'm not looking to hurt anybody, anything like that. It just doesn't warrant that. But I do need a handle. All right. So the candles on the right. The smaller candle is the feeder candle for the servitor I use to flood the candle, and I will be doing a little bit of that, but I will be doing some of it myself because I demonstrated this to a class not too long ago. And I kind of want to reinforce what I was doing with that, and I think that may help because I know that some of them are watching the videos or intend to. Now, the candle on the right is a little bit different. It does use a different gate. This is a positive solar sort of gate, but it's not necessarily the power of the sun. It's just kind of represented by that. Now, this particular gate is kind of interesting because it kind of appears to me like a mechanical sunflower. Eventually, it'll be drawn and put into the grimoire that I'm working on. But it basically looks like a half sunflower, half robotic hybrid almost. But the reason I'm doing it is because there's a friend of mine sent a 911 of sorts last night when I was asleep, and so a friend of theirs had some medical issues going on, and she was asking for help for them, which I'm absolutely going to provide. And this type of solar energy that it does, I really just don't like that term, but I just don't know what else to use because it's that assumes it's the sun, and I don't know it's this sun. It may just be another sun. It's just representative of that energy or the entity behind it because I haven't determined that yet. So I will be doing the same thing with servitor for part of that, and then I will be doing the other part. Primarily, I'll be flooding it about halfway and letting them do the rest of the work. But that pink candle is the feeder candle for that servitor, as a thank you to them and to help ensure they stay healthy and focused with their development. So how long did that take? Way too long? Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. 4 minutes? Hell, that's not bad at all. Well, for me. All right, here we go. So how are we going to do this? Well, first, what has to happen is you need to cleanse the candles, right? Which I haven't done yet. And really what I'm doing is I'm just kind of wiping. If I did it visually, I would just pull out the energy, and I could just throw it on the floor if I wanted to, if that makes me feel better. You can do it that way. Or you can just flood it with neutral energy and just pull that energy out. Okay? So it's kind of like overriding. You can do that with bones too, by the way. If you need to release a spirit from some bones, that's one way you can do it from at least a bone. You'd have to connect to the other bones that it still has connections with, and then do it that other way. But I'm kind of getting off topic, but I've used this similar technique in the past. So there we go. Okay, those have been cleansed. So the next step because I know at some point I will be publishing this grimoire either online or in book form or something. As well, I have the servitor stones over here. They're awake and ready. I'm kind of keeping those a little hidden, if you will, until I make some backups for them and things like that, so that way asshats can't jack stuff up. I mean, I could just recreate them, but I'd rather not, you know. All right, so at this point, first I'm going to focus on each one. Just open that one. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is, since the energy field is coming around this way, I'm just going to go ahead and stick this on here and let it flood halfway, which is done. And then I will ask the servitor, please fill the rest of this candle with what is needed. And the point of doing it like this is that the energy itself already has attributes that I want, right? I don't have to feed those attributes into there. It's done. All right, thank you. I don't have to necessarily alter that a whole lot at all, and that's the point, right? So that one's done. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Okay. All right. So the energies are in the candle, right? But I still have to put the impression into the candle. Okay. So that energy is going to act as it acts, and that's exactly why I want it. But what I need to do now is I need to imprint it with the targets, or target or targets, one or several is fine, and I need to then write that imprint into it and seal it in. And the reason for that is because I don't want to, because these candles are going to take a little while to go out. I don't want to leak any energy if I don't have to, and that's pretty much how we're going to go. So here, I know exactly who this person is. Okay, so I've imprinted the person. Now I need to imprint the action. Okay. Now I don't know the person here, but what I do know is the relationship of my friend to this friend of theirs. And so instead, what I will do is, since I talked about using the subconscious before, I'm literally going to let that guide it, and I'll know if I just can't pick it out for some reason, then I'll literally just ask an entity to do it for me, give me a signature, and I'll tie that signature to imprint this candle. Okay. So what am I going to do with this? All right. So if this probably been like subconscious, I don't know what step it would have been, but essentially what I do is I have to ask, I know what I want done, I know what the problem is, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, the positive healing energy that needs to go in. You could ask why I'm not using the Pleiades one, and that's because this needs to be more up and in your face. It needs to be a little bit more forceful in this particular way that this energy feels to me. I could use the Pleiades, but this is what felt right. So this is what I'm going to use. Now how am I going to do this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of my friend, and then I'm going to ask myself, I'm basically putting it to my subconscious the same way, saying I need a link, an energetic link, that I can then attach to this candle like that, and it will do that work for me. And that is all I will really need to do. These are ready to go now. So this kind of sucks. Okay. Those will fire off and send that energy that way. It's where it can manifest as it needs to. There is a reason I'm not using very super specific means and mechanisms here, and that's That's partly because I want it to act in its nature, the nature of this energy, and I want it to do so in the way that it feels as best possible. So that's really why. Um, it's kind of like when you here. Let me move this out of the wind. It's kind of like when you know you need to change something, but you don't exactly know which way is the best way, or you don't know that there's an opportunity that exists. Right. So now, if you ask an entity to do it, the entity's going to know, and it's going to make that decision. It's going to be pretty simple. But if you don't know which decisions those are, then the only way to really find them is to either make a generic ask like that and have the magical chops to do it, or you use some sort of divination or method of revelation to then determine that, whether it's dream work, scrying. Probably I would imagine a visual representation might be a little bit easier. People usually use visual representations and emotion in typical magic. So I would imagine that a visual display that would help reinforce that would probably be better. But you do you. You could ask a spirit and they could just tell you. If I hadn't gotten that link, I would have asked a couple of spirits. So I would ask one of a couple, and called it good. So, all right, now I do need to think and feed my servitors, and I will let this burn. I mean, I did half the work, but I'm still going to let it burn to help energize and continue to deepen their programming as I need to. So I'm not really ready for them to start taking energy on their own yet. I mean, they know how, but I still want to see at what point they diverge. And 2 gates in on each side, and that has been the case yet, but I can feel there are other gates coming. So I will let this burn for about 5-10 minutes, something like that. I'll kind of feel when it's done, but I want to give them a little bit of a boost, because I haven't done it lately, outside of like 1 or 2 rituals. So, because I've been way busy. All right, there we go. Another example of me using some of these gates. The work will take a while, so I may just start pushing out individual. Excuse me. Sorry, I was teaching all day. So I may just give out similar articles to showcase some of the ways that can be done and used. And we'll just kind of go from there. But because I don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, I am moving in a couple of months, so we'll just have to see how that is. But there you go, 2 more demonstrations, and it also is a way for me to kind of keep track of how long something lasted, and with the amount of energy I was putting into it, because I could. I'm about to start lecturing here, so there you go. Thank you for watching, and if there'll be more coming out about this, and I'll be able to elaborate more at a different time. But you can still ask questions if you would like.